Good morning, everybody. It's your boy Desmond with Legacy Firearms Training. It's Sunday Gun Day out here in the man cave doing some maintenance on a few firearms. And just wanted to do another video, like my other videos, they're geared towards new shooters and new gun owners, but anybody can hopefully get some information from them and find useful. So today what I want to talk about are targets. All right, so you go to the range, there's a lot of different targets. Some people bring their own targets, or you can purchase targets at the range. But sometimes it could be more than just the piece of paper that you're shooting at. I've seen people just put up paper plates and shoot at that at the target, and you can practice, get a lot of good practice in doing that. But some targets, you can use them and be really useful to you in different self-defense situations, real life scenarios, putting you in that proper mindset, and just get better overall at marksmanship and shooting in general. So we've all been to the range and we've seen these type of targets, right? So we're gonna start. We've seen our good old zombie targets, right? We've seen our zombie targets at the range, and these are really fun to shoot at. If you want to take your new range toy out there to the range, put some rounds down range, get some trigger time on it, these are some really fun targets to shoot at, right? So, but they don't have that much real life, real world scenario type of value, all right? But they're just fun to shoot at, right? But I want to show you some different targets that I like to use, especially with my one-on-ones and my personal training that I like to use that can benefit you in real world and self-defense scenarios. But I'm not saying nothing wrong with a good zombie target, because you never know. The world's crazy, right? So you never know, you might have that zombie apocalypse come about and you've been practicing on these targets, you're ready for it. But in everyday life, for real world self-defense situations, there's better targets than just your good old zombie apocalypse targets. So that's your first one. So when I take a new shooter to the range, we're starting off and anything like that, get them comfortable with the firearm. I like to see them get some good groups, all right? So this is the type of target that I like to use when we're talking about getting people comfortable and getting good groups on the range first, all right? So I also use these for sighting in my red dots and everything like that. But this is one, this is a bigger one. Mostly probably use this for like rifles or something like this. But I like to put this one up with a new shooter shooting my favorite gun, my TX-22, and put this out about 3 yards, and we'll take a couple shots just to try to get them comfortable working on those fundamentals, that sight alignment, sight picture, that stance, that trigger press, all that good stuff. And we want to try to get good groups, all right? So we'll start off using our top right target and take about 3 to 5 shots. It depends on you, however you choose to train. Take a couple shots on this one, and then we'll make our adjustments. Then we'll go to our next target, so forth and so on, until we end up center mass hitting nothing but the red, all right? But these are really good targets to use when you're first starting out, if you just want to try to get some good groups. I tell people all the time, I like to see good groups. I don't want to see a freaking shotgun blast on the daggone target. So I want to see good tight groups, and this is a good way to practice those fundamentals and help you better get those good, nice tight groups on target. So you can get these Amazon, Walmart. They're not that expensive, but these are really good training tools, training targets that you may want to think about considering. Next, I have this is kind of like the other one. This is just a paper target that I like to use. You can use this for more so for rifles, or you're sighting in your red dot. So you got a new red dot, you want to get it sighted in. Here you have, if you want to move it up, down, left, right, so forth and so on, how many clicks you may need to move it to adjust it to get it right where you want to be. Same thing, take about 3-5 shots, put it out to whatever distance that you want to put it out to, and try to get that red dot sighted in, or that scope, or you got your new rifle or something like that, you got a scope on there or a red dot on there. These are really good targets to use to get that sighted in. And then again, start off here, 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 here. Final adjustments should be dead center. But this is a really good tool that you can use to sight in those red dots and those iron sights on your rifle. So once we have it, I got my new shooter comfortable, got a good group and everything like that, we'll move on to a higher caliber than a 22. So I'll go to the 9mm, and I like to use these targets. These targets, they're pretty cheap also, but with these compared to the paper targets of the same size, these make it a lot easier to see your shots. It's a lot easier to see your shots. So normally with the paper targets, some of them have that black background. You're not gonna be able to see a shot unless you bring it all the way back to you. But with these targets, you can shoot it at a good distance and see exactly where you hit. Now you can bring it back to mark up your target like I talked about in my last video. You got your Sharpie in your bag, right? So you're gonna mark up your shots, mark up your bullet holes so you know where you hit, put it back out there and keep shooting. This one has multiple targets on it, so you can use it more than just shooting dead center. So you got your left and your right, and you have your center. These are really good targets to use. You can use them more than just one time or a few magazines or something like that. You can have these targets here, and these are pretty useful. Again, Amazon, Walmart, pretty cheap, but very useful targets. Next, you have your good old B27. Everybody's familiar with the, you've been to a range before, you've seen these B27 targets. They make them smaller, bigger, whatever, but these are the general targets that you're gonna see out there. These are good for, I wouldn't say so much for self-defense training, because you see how low that X is. This is good for marksmanship, getting you on target, putting it out there at distance, trying to keep everything in the 9 and the 10. That's great, but in self-defense situation, I would want to hit a little bit higher. And you can do that using these targets also if you just want to aim for the 8 or the 9, and not so much the 10 ring, because the 10 is right around, probably around the belly button, maybe a little bit higher, more like a gut shot or something like that. But these are good targets, but they have variations of the B27s that are more geared towards self-defense type shooting and training and stuff like that. And that's what I'm gonna talk about next. But nothing's wrong with this target. Good for marksmanship training and stuff like that. Good fundamentals, always practicing those fundamentals. But this is another good target that you can use. But there are targets geared more towards self-defense that you might want to look at using. So that's what I'm gonna talk about next. This one is probably one of my favorites. This is also a B27, but you'll notice where the actual, on the other B27, the X would be about down here in this midsection, or maybe lower. But here you have your immobilizing zone. That's what I really like about this particular target. I like to take my students out there when we finish up getting good groups and taking a couple other shots with different targets. I like to go to this one and make it a little more realistic, all right? Get you in that self-defense mindset. So it gives you that area, that immobilizing zone, in that higher chest area. Then you have your T-box right here, and then you have your area down here, your pelvic girdle, that a lot of people don't really think about as an immobilizing zone. But if you hit someone in these areas right here, right along that line, kidney shots and stuff like that, you're going to be able to stop the threat a lot quicker than you would if you just shoot them in the shoulder or someplace like here. This is the area that you want to look for. Along this line right here, this channel, and this area right here is where you really want to try to focus your shot set and get nice tight groups. I tell people all the time, I want to see nice tight groups. That's why I hold myself to that standard and keeping those nice tight groups. I don't focus on hitting the bullseye every time. As long as I got an effective, concealed carry type threat, scenario type hit, a battle effective hit, that's good for me. All right, that's good. Nice tight group. I know what area I need to aim for. Right in this area is what you really want to look for. You can practice drawing from the holster. If there's some ranges you can draw from the holster, this is a really good target to use. If you can't, use that low ready or that compressed ready shooting position. Press that firearm out and get those rounds down range as quickly as you can, and focus on this area right here. You can do all types of drills with this particular target. You have your failure to stop drills, your 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, your build drills, whatever you want to run. You can use these targets and give you that visual feedback. Okay, that would have been an effective shot. That's what you want to look for. That's what I look for myself. But these are really good modifications of the B27. Give you that visual feedback as to where you want to hit in the self-defense situation. So I really do love these targets when I'm training for self-defense and stuff like that. My next favorite target after that one, this is Bob. All right. I tell people this is Bob. He made some bad choices, and now he's going around sticking up people, right? That's why he has a gun. He's trying to stick up you and your loved ones. So with this target, it gives you another visual aid of what a realistic threat would look like, all right? So you have somebody in a black shirt or something like that coming up to you and sticking you up. You have the area. Again, it identifies the different areas that you would want to try to aim for in a self-defense situation. You have your level 1, level 2, and your level 3. Of course, your level 1 would stop that threat a lot quicker than, say, maybe a level 2 or a level 3 in the shoulder or something like that. So you have your T-box, and then you have that line right here, and same place on that B27 that I showed you previously. You have that area in that upper chest area where you want to hit, right up in here, nice tight groups in that area. This is a really good target. Put it out at different distances. Start off at 3, take it to 5, take it to 7, and push your limits and push yourself and get that firearm out as quickly as you can and get rounds on target, and then see where you hit. They make other ones that have it, the shirt is all blacked out, so you don't really know where that level 1, level 2, and level 3 is. And then they have one that's a little more skeletonized, where you can see straight through the actual body and give you that feedback as to where you hit. You can put these out there on the ranges. I know some ranges, they have the targets that can you can edge them, and then they can turn and face you, and you can get that firearm on the threat as quickly as possible. Take those shots before it turns and faces away from you. Bring it back, see where you hit, right? So this is a really good tool that I like to use for myself, not only for myself, but for my students, to help give them a more realistic scenario, or give you that visual of a self-defense situation or a self-defense encounter. This target is really great. Amazon, get them in a pack. These, I have quite a few of these that I just rip off, take out there, and put some rounds down range to get that training in. So this is another good one that you might want to take a look at using. Last, I call this like my skill type target. All right, this is one target that I can practice multiple skills on. So I have 5 targets, but for each one I can practice different skills, and it lists them out for me, but I don't have to follow this. I can shoot it however I choose to shoot it, right? So for number 1, it has draw and fire 1 shot. Draw and fire 1 shot. So draw from your holster if you have the opportunity to do so at your range. Draw from the holster, fire 1 shot. If you can't draw from the holster, low ready, compress ready, or anything like that, now press that gun out, fire 1 shot. Next, you have your double tap practice right here. It's taking 2 shots. Either drawing from the holster or just having it at the low ready or the compress ready, pressing that firearm, 2 shots quickly as possible, bang, bang. Put it out at different distances, push your limits, all right? See how accurate you can get, push your limits. The only way to get better is to put more weight on you and see how you do, all right? Here we have our slow fire, do your slow fire drill, and here you have a transition drill. So you can fire 2 shots, and 2 shots on 4, 2 shots on 3. So it's bang, bang, transition, bang, bang. Getting your eyes on that target, putting that firearm on target, and then taking those shots as fast as possible, all right? You got that good transition, getting those eyes there first, then turning that firearm, and then getting those shots on target. So this one, you can use it any way that you choose to use it. You don't have to follow exactly as it has on the paper or anything like that, but it's totally up to you how you choose to use this target. Amazon, get a whole box of 50 of them, however many you want to get. But this is a really good target that you might want to think about using next time you go to the range. So this is just, I think it's pretty much all the targets that I use in my training. I'm always looking for other targets. Again, like I said before, I've seen people to stick up, playing cards or paper plates and stuff like that. But there's a lot of options out there that you can use for target practice. But go out there and train with purpose, right? Go out there with a plan. If you're going out there to have fun, that's great. Put that zombie target up and let the rounds fly. But if you're trying to get better at self-defense and concealed carry and drawing from the holster and things like that, and self-defense shooting, use these types of targets to put you in that mindset to help you get better at those situations. That's the only way you're going to get better, is to train and put yourself in that mindset. I use these for dry fire practice. As you can see, I have one up over there that I use where I use my SIRT pistol on, and I use for dry fire practice also. But I hope this video helped out some people. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. It'll be greatly appreciated. Check out the website, Legacy Firearms Training. Classes every Wednesday and Saturday, handgun cleaning classes, 101s. So please come check us out. Keep training. Stay safe.